Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Like to check that you've got your smartest friends with you before trying out a new escape room.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. This content is intended for audiences in the U.S. only. Savings vary, terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois. Hey, Handsomes, we have a huge holiday treat to tell you about. On Saturday, December 21st, Handsome is putting on a Holly Bob's live streaming extravaganza, and you can watch live from anywhere in the world.
So get your tickets at our social media page or at dynastytypewriter.com.
Again, the show is Saturday, December 21st, and your ticket includes a replay you can watch for an entire week. So what are you waiting for? Go get your ticket.
This is a headgum
video.
Handsome, chatting with friends on the Handsome Pod. Chatting with friends on the Handsome Pod.
Cheers. Welcome to the Handsome Pod. I am a refreshed, revived co-host of the Handsome Pod. I'm your friend May Martin, joined, of course, by
your dear friend Tig Notaro.
And Fortune Feimster. I love that you're refreshed.
Guys, look out. You're going to be dazzled by my personality. I feel like I've been really a quivery little shrimp the last few eps. I'm going to be, today it's going to be explosive.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
When does it get started?
Maybe about 20 minutes in, you're going to notice a spike.
You are smiling a lot.
Yeah, I'm back in LA. I'm like, I slept a bit. I'm feeling good.
Good.
That's nice.
We like it when you're refreshed and not I wouldn't have said you were a quivery shrimp.
Oh, you wouldn't? That wouldn't have been your choice of...
No, that's what I said. No.
But you do seem to have a pep in your step, and we like that.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be a process catching up on like the sleep deficit, but yeah, I'm feeling good. But going like eating my favorite foods again and like
Ooh, what are your favorite foods?
Yeah.
well, microwavable meals, Amy's frozen microwavable mushroom risotto,
Oh.
Gosh,
what a
back to it.
delicacy.
Couldn't get that in Toronto, huh?
I'm sure you can. Yeah.
I know you can.
It didn't taste the same, right?
It doesn't taste the same,
They put less chemicals in Toronto.
Yeah. I like that you're both wearing beautiful soft forest greens.
We sure are.
I do love green, I have to say.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. I do as well. I have a pep in my step because today is the release of my new Netflix special, Crushing It.
It's called Crushing It?
It's called Crushing It.
That's amazing.
That's
so I'm very
exciting.
I'm very proud, as you guys know, putting out a special. It's a whole long 2-year, however long process, and just very pumped for people to watch it. I hope people will watch it.
Oh, people will watch it. And is it top secret right now that you're wearing a pink suit?
It's not top secret anymore.
Okay, word is out.
Well, I was said in our pretty little episode that our pod inspired me.
Yeah.
Because I really love our not to be vain, but I really love our photo of us. Yeah. Our main handsome photo, because we look very handsome.
Yeah.
Yes. And I wanted to just I wanted to go with that feeling. And so I had a custom made suit made, and
it's pink.
It's pink.
So you
very handsome.
I even say in the special, if you watch, there are 2 references to our podcast. So our listeners will have to let us know if they caught either of those.
Oh my God.
I can't wait.
I like in my mind you had in your closet like a gown picked out to wear and then the suit next to it, and you're umming and ahhing between the two, and then you threw the gown out and you went with the suit.
That's right. I mean, one of the references is like right off the bat.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I can't wait for this thing to drop.
It's here, baby, today.
You know what you should do to promote the special is be a guest on the Handsome Pod.
That's actually
Here I am.
Very meta idea. Do you think we should do an episode ever where one of us asks the question?
Is the question asker.
I don't know. I mean, we'll put it on the list, right?
Yeah,
Thomas?
put it on the list, Thomas.
Yeah.
But for now, put on the list watching my special on Netflix, crushing it.
Were you at all influenced by, I think I said early on in the pod that like one of the only things I know about fashion is my mom told me pink is very flattering to your complexion.
Really?
I've like held onto it my whole life where I'm like, you want to glow? Wear pink. And I think you are glowing.
Thank you. Well, I wanted something bright that caught people's eye. And I do like that our pod has we celebrate all, handsome can mean so many things to so many people who, are presenting themselves in the way that is best for them and feels good and is authentic to them. And I liked the pink and the suit and the play on just kind of forging your own path of what handsome looks like.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm a little jealous that I didn't think to do that, but I'm also not filming a special right now.
That's right. Yours already came out and it was awesome.
When you release something, whether it's like a special or a show or something, how good are you at staying off social? Like, do you read all the reviews and social media and stuff, or do you stay off?
I'll glance
at reviews.
You do, yeah. I'll read reviews if anyone reviews it. I would probably read it just because they don't review a lot, of stand up. I don't think. I don't really. I'll read maybe some Instagram comments to see if it's resonating with people or if they like it, but I'm not like scrolling every line.
Yeah. I don't deep dive on it at all. I also feel like I'm really curious because I feel like sometimes when there's reviews, I learn things about myself that I was
interesting
blind to.
Like Tig does her trademark thing where she touches her left shoulder and you're like, do I?
Well, yeah, I remember the New York Times did a piece on my Taylor Dane story.
Oh, yeah.
And they said how it was like a signature thing of mine that I repeat things over and over. And I never noticed that. And it's not just in that story.
Right.
It's in several bits of mine, jokes, stories, whatever. I never realized that. And anyway, so aside from being curious what people have to say, I do find that I learn things or maybe reviewers say things that maybe I knew deep down and then, and then reading it and I'm like, I think they are right. Even if it's like a negative thing,
Yeah.
But I can't, even if it's just like a post of me with my cat, like I can't deep dive on all of the responses to what people have to say.
Yeah.
Well, because comedy, it's like art. It's subjective, Some people, I know some people are going to love it and find it hysterical and other people are going to hate it.
Yeah.
And there's no control over that. I mean, all I try to do is, like all of us, when we have a special come out, is you just have to get people to watch it because that's the only way to get another one.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's just trying to be that, there's so many voices of male comics out there and they get so much attention. And I think us trying to get different points of view out there is important.
That's why you got to throw on a pink suit.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Maybe, you know what? My next special, I'm going to wear a pink suit.
Seeing you in all pink would be pretty funny.
And then May, you do your next special in pink.
Yes.
Come on. Are you working on new material, May?
Yeah, I'm pumped to have some time. That truly, this has been the craziest 6 months ever. And I'm so pumped to have any time. I'm gonna be, I have no idea what I want to say.
So you haven't started writing? You haven't made notes or gone on stage or done a set or anything like that?
I haven't done a set in about 6 months, which is the longest I've been maybe since I was a teenager. But but before the 6 months, I had like half an hour of new stuff that I'm gonna go back to that probably isn't relevant to me at all anymore. That I'm happy.
Because I saw you were going back up at Largo. That's starting again.
Yeah, going back up at Largo and things here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Well, you're going to have a lot to say.
Oh man, I got to get into the bear story. I got to, there's a lot to unpack for sure.
I love that you're like, boy, am I ever. I've got to get into the bear story.
The bear story,
so,
number one.
Number one. The list ends there.
Yeah.
If you just talk about bears the whole time, that's a solid special.
Right? If I just narrow it down.
I've gotten really into mountain goats lately.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm a big fan.
Are you really?
Yes.
I am so deeply obsessed with mountain goats and have been forever. Like whenever I'm driving through the mountains with my family, I always tell my kids, look for mountain goats because they will just be standing on the wall of a mountain.
Like on a vertical
Yes, question?
I have a question.
Go to YouTube. Fortune just raised her hand. Go to YouTube.
What is the difference between a goat and a mountain goat?
Wait, is this a joke?
Is it just that the goat's on the mountain?
Wait, no, have you not seen a mountain goat, Fortune?
I guess not.
Okay,
I mean, look,
they look different.
Well, I mean, they've got the body of like a barrel, and then they've got like little kind of stick legs, and then cloven hooves, and then they stand on a vertical wall.
They're definitely more majestic and impressive.
That does seem hard. It is insane that this animal exists on a wall.
Yeah, and like what compels them to do it? Like, I guess they're looking for little plants to eat and stuff, but then they've got to get down from there at some point, and you never see that part.
Well, let me tell you something. Out here in Toronto, I am not somebody that looks at YouTube or like I'm not in YouTube world.
Okay.
So I'm in Toronto. I had a couple of days off and they were slow days. And I'm telling you, I think about mountain goats all the time. And so one day I thought, while I was in my kitchen, I was thinking about mountain goats. I thought, I bet I could find some mountain goats on YouTube.
Hell yeah, you could.
Yes. And I went over to my computer and I put mountain goats into YouTube. And oh boy, did that entire day go away. I was watching them jump from vertical wall to vertical wall and zigzag between two mountains. Do you understand? And land perfectly fine on like a ledge that's as big as a kernel of corn. They just stand there.
But it gives you hope because it gives me hope because I'm like, we could do anything because these guys don't look like they're built to climb. They're like you said, a barrel and some stick legs. Like they can barely bend their legs, and yet they're like the most agile.
And there's not to bring up bears again, but bears, wildcats, eagles drag these animals away.
Whoa. Oh my God.
And they just live on a wall. Anyway, I can move. I'll move on. But how did I get to this?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But
I know you just said you're a fan of mountain goats.
Yeah, I'm always trying to wedge it in somewhere. But I was talking about it on stage because day that I just an entire day went to me looking at mountain goats on YouTube, and I am not exaggerating. Fortune. Thank you for that.
Were you trying to sneak in the sound?
I'm trying to adjust something, and I just hit my sound effects.
You hit your Cinderella noise.
That's the sound of a day evaporating due to mountain goats.
That's what
Can you hear me?
Fortune's gas sounds like.
Oh,
now,
sounds
listen. Okay, so after I watched mountain goats all day, I had a show at Comedy Bar here in Toronto, and I went up there. And as soon as I walked on stage, I was just so full of mountain goat energy. And I just started ranting and raving about them. And
are you a Capricorn?
Good question.
You mean like
is your star sign?
No, I'm Aries.
Okay.
I'm Aries.
Wait, as opposed to what, Tig?
Wait, what do you mean as opposed to
You were like, am I Capricorn in what way?
Well, yeah, I guess I was pretty sure that you meant that in astrology. But what are you?
What kind
May?
of Capricorn do you think I
Did
am?
you think I said Capulet like in Romeo and Juliet?
Listen, I was still thinking about mountain goats.
Right, sorry.
What's your sign? May?
Taurus. I'm the bull.
Okay, and Fortune, what are you?
I'm a Cancer.
Don't say that about yourself.
And Thomas, you're June, right?
Is that Gemini? No.
You're not. You're May.
He's shaking his head.
I'm a Virgo.
Wait, are you May?
Virgo is September?
September.
That's hot. Most
I knew
of the...
it's September.
September 7th.
6.
6th.
Definitely a Virgo.
Well, we
of
just
the
met.
people that I've been in love with have been Virgos. Like most of the people have been between kind of mid-August and end of September. Really significant relationships for me.
I've been in love all over the place.
Tig, I think you should get a mountain goat tattoo or something. Like, I think similar the way I'm electrified by bears right now, you're lighting up about these goats, and I think you need to lean in.
Okay. Well, I'm not a tattoo person, I'll be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm just not, I just don't want a tattoo on my body.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't want the pain.
I can't even claim that I'm terribly attracted to tattoos either.
Yeah.
I think they look cool on people, but like, I'm not like, oh, I got to get myself a tatted up lady, Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Like to make sure your flashlight has batteries before a big camping trip.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. This content is intended for audiences in the U.S. only. Savings vary, terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Like a lot of people, my parents are not the most tech savvy, so it seems weird to get them a tech adjacent gift. But Aura's digital frame is actually so perfect. That's because, yes, it's tech, but it's so easy. My whole family can update the frame with pictures from all around the world. It's easy to use, and it's a snap to upload photos to. You just follow the link and choose the photos and videos that you want to add.
Seriously, it's so easy to get started. But then once you do, the tech is incredible. I can upload photos right from my phone in just one click. I'll even pair photos together for me, like 2 pictures of the same person or from the same day. There's no memory cards or USBs required. There's a reason Wirecutter named it the #1 best digital photo frame. For a limited time, visit auraframes.com and get $45 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames by using promo code HANDSOME at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code HANDSOME. This exclusive Black Friday Cyber Monday deal is their best of the year, so don't miss out. Terms and conditions apply.
I have one. I mean, I have about 20 tattoos, but I have one on my.
20.
I've talked about this one before that says oatmeal on my wrist, and
Yeah.
I got it because this woman. I was like 16, and she was older, and she drew it on my wrist in a kind of flirtatious way, and I got it tattooed to surprise
I'm sorry,
her.
Flirtatious, drawing oatmeal. Oh, writing the word oatmeal on you, or drawing a bowl of oatmeal on you.
Writing
also,
the word.
Terrible flirting.
Yeah, neither is very flirtatious, but she was like,
what do you think of this bowl of oatmeal?
What about overnight oats, May?
She was
Have you
trying
ever
to.
had oatmeal with raisins in them?
Oh my gosh, sexy Fortune.
Oh my God, if I close my eyes.
Do you like cinnamon or brown sugar?
Go to
in your
YouTube. Go to
oatmeal?
YouTube and look at Fortune's sexy face.
Yeah, also, I don't know why I said if I close my eyes. I want to see this. That's part of
Yeah, May, don't close your eyes. You want to have some oatmeal with this.
Oh my
That's what Jax
God.
gets?
Yeah,
Oh my
baby.
God. Do you ever do that in her ear, like right in her ear?
No, she would be horrified.
As am I.
You're not turned on to? All right. To each their own.
But I always remember that this woman was trying to help me choose a tattoo, and so she was drawing like different options, and one of the ones she drew that I was close to getting was a seatbelt across my whole chest.
What?
It was
I would
truly
get that over oatmeal.
really.
I mean, that is such a
seatbelt.
funny idea. That
that's a
I almost
big
want
one.
that. But that's good. And then would you have the buckle on there too?
Yeah, I'm sure around my hip would be the buckle.
Oh,
That is a
God.
large tattoo.
I know.
That's a good one. Whose idea was that?
It was hers, and I was so on the fence about whether to get that or oatmeal. Thank God I went with the tiny oatmeal.
No. Oh
You
my
think-
God. If you had a seatbelt, that is so
Oh my
good.
God.
You're all about safety.
All about
Yeah.
safety.
Buckle
Yeah.
up. Click it or ticket. That would be under the seatbelt. Click it or ticket.
Yeah, you get pulled over by the cops. You take your shirt off. You're like,
I was buckled.
you rip your shirt open. Okay, so I'm, neck deep in mountain goat life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're neck deep in bear life.
Yeah.
What about you, Fortune? It can't be Biggie.
It can't be
because
Biggie.
It,
We
it can't be Biggie.
No,
No, because of course.
Biggie.
Yeah, no.
I
I'm a
think
baby bear.
you need like an animal energy that you're channeling for this
Mm-hmm.
last section of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
Especially
think about it.
the special coming out. The pink to me says flamingo. Like, is that a sexy?
Flamingos are very
Don't
sexy.
get Fortune talking sexy again.
Because
Tell us why, Fortune.
flamingos are the sign of swingers.
Are
Mm.
they really?
Yeah. I talked about it in my last special, Good Fortune. I said that there's ways you can let people know that you're a swinger, and flamingos in your yard is one of those signs,
No.
which gets very
What?
confusing in Florida and at my mom's house.
So wait, you can just swing
That's the
by
joke.
someone's house? Yeah. If you see it for swingers, if you see a flamingo in the yard, you can just go ring a ding.
Ring
I
a
don't think
ding.
swingers means that you can just swing by, that anyone can swing by.
There's more to it. It's a flamingo or upside down pineapples.
Hello,
Hello.
Mhm.
pineapple together.
But
Pineapple
upside down.
together.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why upside down, but that's a sign of swingers. I didn't even this. I just heard about it.
Now, Fortune, would you ever consider being a swinger? And what is a swinger? Like you're in couples and you trade off?
I think so. Like
Yeah,
keys in the bowl.
Is it that
have
specific, or is
fun.
it just like we'll hook up? Like,
I think it's like a key party, right?
Wait, what is a key party? I don't even know
All
what
right.
that is.
Here are the rules.
Okay.
Everybody.
Tell us in your sexy
yeah,
voice.
please tell us sexy.
Everybody, okay, welcome to our party. This is the key party. Now
Wait, this isn't sexy.
Oh,
This
wait.
is not the
Well,
same
she's
voice
giving-
you
well,
did.
No,
she's
suddenly
giving
she got-
rules.
She got
Okay.
really shy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I'm very shy. The night is young. So here's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Is
here
that
we go.
better?
Yeah.
Here's what's gonna happen. Everybody's gonna take their car keys out, okay?
Uh-huh.
And some people have the keys where the keys, like, you can like murder
yeah.
someone with the key. And then there's other keys where the thing goes into the thing and it's just a rectangle. It doesn't matter.
Okay. You can still
key
murder people with
That you put in the bowl represents you.
Okay.
Now, what you're going to do is you're going to put your hand into the bowl like you're pulling out a number. And when you grab up
Yeah.
your keys, you're going to say, whose keys are these? And then the person whose keys they are, guess what? You're gonna fuck. I couldn't say it. You're gonna have sexual relations.
You
I
did
love
say it. What do you mean you
Oh,
couldn't
I
say it? You
kinda-
said it.
I said it. Okay.
You
Yeah,
kind of
you
you
said
kind
I
it.
of
didn't know if
wee-
it came all the way out.
Yeah,
you kind
it
of
did.
wheezed it. It was your
I
Yeah.
wheezed it. That's happened as a key party.
So you
that's-
pull the keys out, and that's who
That's
you're.
who you get. That's who you're with. That's a swinger party, baby.
So you got to make sure
No fugs.
that you're into every. I mean,
So
I don't,
you gotta be careful with that guest list.
and I don't drive, so I'm gonna have to be putting in.
You gotta.
you could put in
just,
your house key.
Just
Yeah.
take a key. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so a swingers, I thought swingers were like, I thought that was two couples, and then you kind of do with
You
the
swap.
yeah,
There's no rules to swinging.
yeah. I guess
think
the
that
swinger
also-
police.
That's also allowed.
Yeah.
Swapping partners.
Okay, so we're thinking flamingo may be too confusing if that's your energy for
No,
the.
I think
you're
it's
in.
fun.
Okay.
Why not?
Wait,
I've
you're
not
into
done
the
this.
idea of swinging?
No, I haven't done that, but I
I
like
know, but are you into the
flamingos.
idea of it?
I don't. This is a lights off body. You know what I mean?
Well, no one said anything about the lights. You
Yeah.
can still
Yeah, but
have
I feel
all the
like
lights
swingers
We're
are
talking
like.
about your desires.
I
Like,
know, but I think they're the ones that are lights on, baby. Anything
Right.
goes. We're poking holes.
right.
whoa. And then what if Jax came to you and said, I would like to check something out and swing myself over yonder?
I don't
Swing
know.
myself over yonder.
Yeah.
Oh my
Would you-
god.
I don't know.
You'd have to cross that bridge.
Yeah,
You'd
cross
have to
that
get
flamingo
Esther
bridge.
Perel on the phone and be like,
Esther.
Esther,
Oh yeah, she'd be good to talk to.
how do we navigate this? And she'd
Yeah.
be like, what would it feel like to you?
What would you feel if that
She's the
happened?
best.
Like, see, okay, that's
Fortune.
the key to Tig's pants. Is the
Oh,
Esther.
yeah.
Like,
Esther.
Fortune's sexy voice did nothing for you, but
I
if
know.
I did Esther,
Tig was over there
maybe.
throwing up when I did it.
Yeah, I'd follow May all the way home. And then where are you feeling what are you feeling these days, May, as far as like swinging and do-si-doing and keys in a bowl? Or are you like,
I'm down. I feel like it's situation specific. I think it really depends who you're with and what the vibe is. But I'm very pro keys in the bowl.
and then
go,
so
May.
what if somebody grabs keys in the bowl and then they were like, that was fun, and then your person wants to grab those keys out of the bowl again? Are you like a grab them one time and move on, or are you like, okay, I guess we're opening the door to a bunch of key grabbing?
It so depends, right? I feel like if I'm present for it, then all bets are like, you know what I mean? If you're a couple and then you're all involved, I don't know. It really depends. But I think I'm open to whatevs.
May's a lights on person.
Lights on, pineapple
Key
upside
grabs.
down. Key
Pineapple does not need to be a part.
But I feel like we're getting it more of an insight, Tig, into your feelings about it, because you're like, no, what if they want to do it again? And no, what if?
What are these rules?
Yeah. You know what I'm picturing that like the key party starts and there's some orgy happening, and then the camera kind of pans up and Tig's like a mountain goat on the wall. Like Tig, you're perched on a vertical wall near the ceiling, just being like, well, look down there.
Looky there.
Oh man, gosh, how do we get on these topics?
I don't know.
Was this
We
my
go
fault?
from mountain. Yes, it is your fault. You turned it into a sexy I was just trying to talk about mountain goats.
That is true.
And then you started getting everything all sexy.
Y'all brought up flamingos, and I told you what flamingos stand for. That's it.
So this goes back, it traces back to you. You were the one that brought up swingers, and then I was like, what does that even mean?
And what are the rules?
Did you know that flamingos are only pink because they eat shrimp? And if they didn't eat shrimp, they wouldn't be pink. They're only pink because of their diet.
My fact.
And did you know that I think I've talked about this. It's one of my favorite things to Google. If you Google teenage flamingo, it's one of the only animal species where it has the most awkward adolescent phase, like a human. Like it just looks like, why am I alive? And it's still kind of, it hasn't turned pink
Those
yet.
lanky legs.
It's all
Hasn't had a
floofy.
shrimp yet.
Probably hasn't had enough shrimp yet.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Teenage flamingo is one
wow.
of my faves.
Did not know about this.
Well,
Thank you for sharing.
That's a
I
good
know.
fact.
What just happened? Was that Thomas?
Not me.
That was Thomas.
Oh,
Is that our new Mayfact signal?
I think
Or
it's
has that
our old
always
one.
I
been?
had that from a while back.
I knew
Yeah.
that. I knew
Nice.
that. We haven't had a Mayfact in a minute, so
Should we move on to our questioner this week? Speaking of handsome,
yeah.
I mean, basically, if you have a dictionary on hand, which I would assume every listener does when they listen to our podcast, because we do use very advanced language and we learn so much, and it's good to just keep an encyclopedia and dictionary near you, because if you open a dictionary and you look up handsome, you will see me, Fortune, May, and our questioner, and Thomas.
And Thomas.
Thomas, absolutely. Today's questioner is an actor best known for his Emmy-winning portrayal of Don Draper on Mad Men. He also starred in the latest season of Fargo as well as The Morning Show.
Oh boy.
Jon Hamm is asking today's question.
Baba Bloom. So sexy, that Mr. Hamm.
Oh my God. Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube.
Can you, Fortune, can you like come out of a birthday cake for me on my birthday?
Hamm. We've been
Hamson.
waiting for you. Yeah, Hamson. Hamson. No, I can't
Jon
say it.
Hamm.
There you go.
Hey, Handsome Pod, it's Jon Hamm, and I have a question for you.
Guys, I have a surprise. We're ready for a first team rehearsal 9 minutes early.
Thank you.
Whoa.
What was the earliest you've ever been called to set?
On
Was it
set.
9 minutes? What was the first book that you ever read that truly affected you? I will wait for your answer offline.
Can I just tell you? So I flew from Toronto back to LA to film one day on the morning show.
Yeah.
And when I was filming John do this question, the lighting was really terrible. And Jen grabbed a lighting thing and stood behind me to light John.
Jennifer Aniston was your grip?
Jennifer Aniston was the grip on this shoot.
Wow.
And that was that crazy laugh in the background too, if you heard.
That's incredible.
That's Jen. But the publicist, the morning show publicist, was watching the whole thing go down. And then after we finished, she goes, I cannot believe I didn't pull my phone out and film Jen lighting this question.
Yeah, that would have been
funny. Well,
Yeah.
Jen loves the Handsome Pod. We know that.
She does love the Handsome Pod. And you know who really loves the Handsome Pod is Jen's private chef.
Whoa.
Oh, yes.
I think I've told y'all that.
You did tell us, and we tried to invite ourselves over for dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what happened.
And word got out, but no invitation happened.
Cool.
Cool.
I'm available for Jen's Christmas party too.
Just putting it out there.
Just putting it out there.
But yeah, so when I filmed John, when Jen and I filmed John, we got him looking handsome because we got that lighting.
He looked very handsome.
So
He's a
go to
handsome
YouTube.
fellow.
He is so handsome.
Because Don Draper was the classic handsome.
I mean, he looks like he's from that era, right? That's like, it's perfect casting. He's got that like old time movie star kind of.
Yeah.
Well, books, eh?
At first he said first book, and I was like, oh God, first book. I'm like, Goodnight Moon?
Yeah, hungry caterpillar. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. If you haven't finished your holiday shopping yet, don't panic. We've got a secret source for incredible original gifts, and that's Uncommon Goods. They've got unique, hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling.
I have a friend who loves hiking, but always gets dehydrated. So I got them the Crossbody water bottle bag. It's a stylish, hands-free bag that holds a 32-ounce water bottle, as well as your keys and wallet with an adjustable strap. It comes in a bunch of colors, but I picked sage.
Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the US. They have the most meaningful, out-of-the-ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/handsome. That's uncommongoods.com/handsome for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary.
But first book that really stuck with us.
I mean, you laugh, but one of my childhood books really was, but I have an older one, but man.
Give it to us.
Okay, I'll give it to you. I was so into, and I believe I've talked about this before. I talk about it all the time. But Amelia Bedelia.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
so she's, what's the deal with her? What's her vibe?
Yeah, what is the deal with her?
With Amelia Bedelia. Yeah. What is the deal? She takes things literally.
Right.
And
I couldn't remember either what her deal was.
when I was in elementary school, and it was story time, and you get in a little circle, and teacher reads, and you choose a book and whatever. I was always raising my hand, like requesting Amelia Bedelia. I just thought she was the funniest. She was a housekeeper, I think. And I always give the example of the people that she worked for would leave a list of things for her to do.
Yeah.
And one of the things on the list, which is hilarious, is draw the drapes.
Draw.
And she took it literally. She sets up an easel and she draws the drapes. And I was a cackling.
I feel like this would have inspired early Tig bits. Like, like I can picture like your mom being like, hop in the shower. And you're like, oh, hop in the shower? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so my sensibility. And I think it really influenced my comedy, honestly.
Yeah.
But then when I was older, I think in junior high school, maybe, I can't remember the year, but I was really into, I'm very into music, but I was very into the story of Sid and Nancy.
Oh yeah, you talked about this.
Yeah,
There's a book that I need
Yeah.
to read. Yeah, that like electrified you, their toxicity, and you were like,
Yeah, it's called And I Don't Want to Live This Life, and it's written by Nancy's mother.
Can I tell you something? I
yeah.
have it. I wrote down the name of it to look up when you told me that, and then the other day I opened the notes on my phone, and I thought I had got really depressed and just written a really sad note. I don't want to live this life anymore. I was like, oh my God, when did I write that?
Yeah. No, it's just a book that really, I don't know why
I think maybe that like the grit. I think when you're a teenager, like you're drawn to that grittiness and that,
the darkness
real life story.
Real life story written about. I was so into the Sex Pistols. I was so into the Sid and Nancy story. I had seen the movie. I had, and then I found out about this book. And like I said, I think I read it 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a kid.
Yeah.
And it's very dark, very, very dark. But really, really interesting, very sad. Yeah, I'm drawn to that kind of stuff. I like dark and sad.
Me too.
Yeah.
Fortune, what about you?
Well, I'll give you 2 books. I have that one like earlier childhood book that always resonated with me. It was Tuck Everlasting.
What's that?
It's about God, I don't remember the details, but the broad sense of it was that he wanted to live forever. And thought that was the greatest thing. I'm pretty sure that's the book. Hold on.
Sounds like it really
Fortune.
made an impression.
Wait.
Classic
God,
Fortune
wait,
Google.
Am I mistaking it with something else? Okay. Wait. Oh God.
Take your time. This is good. This is good for podcasting.
Or was it not this book?
Fortune's Googling and sifting through her phone.
Now it feels like this isn't the book.
It definitely feels like it's
whatever
not.
Book I'm thinking of. I thought it was Tuck Everlasting. He wanted to live forever, but I can't remember why.
And was he like a little?
Wait, let me Google. Did Tuck
Can I
Everlasting?
just tell you, Jon Hamm is such a handsome man. He is also so smart, so well read. He's all of these. He really is. He's got a lot of Mayfax. He's got a lot of information. He's lived a lot of lives.
Love that.
And I think he'd be really disappointed in our responses.
Okay, I am right.
Oh, okay.
He wanted to live forever, but I can't remember why. Or someone wanted to live forever.
But you've already said this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But, so something about someone in the book wanted to live forever. or had to live forever. I don't remember if it was a good thing or a curse. But you think you want this?
Well, why don't you just speculate a bunch about what you think the book might have been?
And then you see everybody get older and die and you're alone. And it's not the awesome thing you thought it was.
It's a kid's book?
I don't remember, May.
Oh my God.
I'm going to tell John not to listen to this.
But the moral of the story was, when you say you want something to last forever, I don't want this to end.
Yeah.
Because I want this to last forever.
Yeah.
You don't really want that, because the beauty of life is getting older and going and growing and getting wisdom and learning. And if you just stay the same at one place, everything passes you by and it's sad.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to the story, but I don't remember. I just remember that was an important lesson.
Clearly.
It was an important lesson. Because when I was in college, I remember saying, I'm scared to graduate because it's so good that I want this feeling to last forever, and I'm sad to leave. And my mom had me read that book.
Oh,
because it was that lesson was in there of like, you don't want this to last forever.
When you were in college, your mother had you read a children's book?
I don't think it's a children's. I don't know if it's a children's book or not. I don't think it's a children's book, but it's not.
There's no way to know.
There's no way to know.
This is the book that
I don't
you
think
love
it's a children's
so much.
book.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, she was right, because I've had 1,000 cooler things happen since then that I never thought was possible, because I thought this was as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
But in a way, Ginger could have just told you that lesson.
Maybe she did. Maybe I didn't even read the book.
This probably isn't even a book.
I feel like maybe I didn't read the book.
It's feeling like
maybe
that.
my mom just told me this lesson. Okay, let me tell you about a book I did read. Or May, why don't you tell us a book, and then I'll go back to the book I did read.
Okay. I also have two. The earlier one is a book called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Yeah, we are disappointing Jon Hamm here for sure. This is not like a literary list, but it was a collection of short stories. If you saw the cover, you'd be like, oh, fuck, yeah, I remember that. It was way too scary. And every story was like 2 pages or something. And there was this one story in it called Taily Poe. And I feel like for some reason Thomas would know about Taily Poe. But basically this guy, he's like a hunter, and he catches this creature and takes its tail, but the creature gets away. And then every night he's in bed and he hears, Taily Poe, Taily Poe, give me back my Taily Poe. And I was like,
scary.
I was so scared. And then it comes into his room, and because he eats the tail and it digs into his stomach and gets its own tail back. And I was, and I think there's another one about a guy who eats bubble gum and there's spiders' eggs in it or something. Anyway, it was really scary. And Taily Poe was like a big part of my...
I've never heard of Taily Poe.
And Thomas was nodding yes. You're familiar with Taily Poe?
Yeah, I remember that book. The one I was thinking of, I don't think it's in that book though, was The Green Ribbon.
Oh my God,
not The Green Ribbon.
Not The Green Ribbon, which was that the ribbon was tied around
a girl's neck.
Yeah.
Oh. And, bad things would happen if it like came off.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was scary.
Reading some intense stuff.
Yeah, really getting in there.
Like later in life, the Neverending Story, that book, and My Side of the Mountain, about a kid who runs away and lives in a hollowed out tree, and he's got a buddy who's a ferret, and just like the fantasy of the solitude of nature and being like 11 and you just live in the woods and he learns to do everything himself. That was big for me. Yeah, I mean, not that I'm a nature person at all or have ever been
outside,
but an adventure seeker. You're an adventure seeker, though.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that sounds good. Anyway, good night. Yeah,
those are great.
I mean, in my teens, I read a lot of like Jack Kerouac's diaries that are just transcribed and that kind of like pretentious stuff that I was, like, oh, I gotta be like Bob Dylan's autobiography and stuff.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Got to.
I did read a book.
Here we go.
In college. And then it was from a North Carolina author. Her name's Kay Gibbons.
Okay.
She made it on the Oprah's book club list at one point. Not for this book. But the book, she wrote a book that I think would maybe only interest someone that grew up where I'm from or in a matriarchal family. the book was called Charms for the Easy Life. And it was the first time that I read a book that I could like really see myself in a book, because it's about a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter. And it was very much of what my life looked like at the time. My grandmother had just passed. She was very matriarchal, head of our family, the like glue that held everybody together. My mom was like, at that time, she was kind of finding herself and on her journey. And then I was this like rule follower, responsible kid trying to like people please and do the right thing all the time. So the book follows that family. It was kind of an early book on like Southern feminism, which was very rare at that time, because we were coming from a time where men were very much the like center of the families and the decision makers, and like everything kind of revolved around them. And I went to a women's college, and it was the first time in my life. I didn't know I was gay. But it was the first time that I started learning about that feminism and, you know, like the difference of like being in a classroom where I didn't realize how little we got called on in high school. Things were starting to get pointed out to me that I never
you were questioning those paradigms and all the ingrained beliefs. Yeah.
So my English teacher in college had us read that book, and it like really blew me away to like see a family like that where men were not necessary, and the women
Did you hear that, fellas?
But the women were so strong. The grandmother in particular was like she was a natural healer, and it takes place in rural North Carolina, and there were a lot of similarities there with me and my grandmother. And like the girl, like her grandmother passed, and her feeling that when it happened, that was very similar to me. And it was just it came at a time in my life where I was like, oh, this is like, I could see myself in that book, and just it really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I had not, you know, being from the South, really thought about before, in terms of finding your power or whatever that is, you know, your strength.
Tig, I'm amazed you never read Huckleberry Finn, because it feels like that's the life you lived. Like, I feel like
Huckleberry Tig.
That's
yeah. You know, I was out actually having my Huckleberry adventures. But I was so obsessed with comedy. When I was little, I've become less and less enchanted by it. But
I remember when I was 11, we went on a family trip to Rome, and the four of us, and it was just a tense trip. My parents were fighting, everyone was fighting, but I had this book called The Comic Toolbox that was like how to be a comedian, and if I read it now, it would probably be a joke. Like it was like how to write a sketch, and it was like 2 pages, how to write a stand-up bit, but it had little exercise books in it, like that you fill out. I wish I had it, because I remember being like at the Vatican and like sitting in a corner scribbling in this book, and it was a real comfort to me, because it was like, take whatever tension in your life and explore it. And the Comic Toolbox.
Well, that's why why mountain goats are my go-to right now. That's a lot of tension for me that I'm dealing with. But did you feel like that actually put you on, what was it helpful and insightful, even if you laughed at it now, like at the time? I mean, it must have been like, oh, I'm holding the key to all comedy right here.
Totally. Yeah. It was kind of like one of those books like The Artist's Way or something that was like, oh, you have something to say and you just need to figure out your point of view. And I was like 11.
Wow, so you have that book,
I got a lot to say.
Steve Martin's book is really good. He was such a huge stand-up, like selling out like giant like arenas, and then in like one day it was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. That part of his career. And I found that very fascinating, in his starting comedy and Disney being Disneyland being a big influence, and magic and
and then he's just like off playing a banjo, you know.
I respect that a lot.
One year when I was nominated for a Grammy, I was asked to present at the whatever you know, the Grammy, or you know how the award shows have the daytime thing and then the nighttime thing, and Steve Martin and Edie Brickell had recorded an album together. I mean, they collaborate a lot, and it was at those daytime awards. A lot of times, big stars don't show up to that, and so it was like a whole day of presenters calling out
names and no one
huge names, and they're like, Bueller could not be here today, and in his place, we will accept this award, and then you move on to the next one. And so I announced Steve Martin and Edie Brickell, and I'm a huge fan of both of theirs.
Yeah.
And I'm like thinking, of course, they're not going to be here. And then I see like one of my biggest comedy heroes and musical heroes walking to the stage towards me. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Yeah, it was really such a fun, unexpected moment, especially because nobody was showing up to these awards. But yeah, it's just an interesting trajectory, and it just shows you that you can move on and reimagine your life and do different things. And
you could become a mountain goat. You could I could become a pencil salesman. I keep fantasizing about going door to door selling pencils,
and you will.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that a dream?
Yeah, I don't know why I always come back to a pencil salesman.
Well, you can't get those in stores.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there's a real appetite for them.
Yeah, you got to take them door to door.
Those Steve Martin albums, like my parents had the vinyls, and I was so like, I would just sit like so tense in my body listening to them. Like I couldn't believe it that you could be so irreverent. And when he's like, well, excuse me, I was like, oh my God.
Which now is like not irreverent at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's like so tame.
Yeah.
I know, it's so wild when you watch comedians from long ago. And I'm not saying Steve Martin is hacky, but like you watch Richard Pryor and
or Lenny Bruce, you're like, I would have walked out.
It just doesn't even seem like cutting edge or groundbreaking, and it's because they were the first.
Yeah.
And there's been so many people that have emulated their style. And I mean, God, even watching my old comedy, which I do all the time. I mean, whenever I have free time,
it's just on loop at your house.
No, but when I do see old comedy of mine or hear it or something, you know, I'll be on tour and something will come on the radio when I'm driving around, and I'm like, oh, cringing.
Oh yeah,
me too.
Hearing myself.
Oh my God.
I just used to yell punchlines all the time.
Yell punchlines is a great tactic.
It just like, I thought in my head that the louder I was, the funnier it was.
Yeah.
And that is
get
not
really
the case.
Sometimes it works though.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was okay, but I do watch some of those old clips with like, I just can't believe it. But that's part of
Comedy.
evolving, you know, hopefully.
Well, yeah, evolving as an individual comedian, but also comedy evolving in general. It's
because even comedy's in such a different place now, because I feel like it was rarely personal back in the day.
Yeah,
it was
all
observational.
Yeah.
And now I feel like people are like, who are you? What do you feel? You know, people seem to want to know more about your personal life than comedy was before.
Yeah.
Can I say that the Never Ending Story, that book, that a guy I was dating got it for me and wrote a little inscription and gave me rainbow gloves. He was a lot older, and I was like obsessed with him. And then I found out he gave the exact same book to a different girl the same Christmas, and he wrote the same inscription word for word.
Dirty rat.
And the rainbow gloves?
And the rainbow gloves.
Dirty rat.
Yeah.
God, I've never read that book, but I'm also now not going to.
Never
I
read
am
it.
so sorry you went through that, May.
Thanks, Tig.
Yeah.
Should we hear what Jon has to say?
Yeah.
Remember him?
I bet he has a smart book.
What if it's Amelia Bedelia?
Is he gonna hate our answers?
Of course.
He doesn't want to read Charms for the Easy Life. How dare, or Tuck Everlasting.
Tuck Everlasting is a mystery to me still.
By the way, I realized I did not read that book. It was a lesson my mom gave me. My mom reads like a book every 3 days.
He is going to hate this episode. Okay, let's hear what he has to say.
The first book that ever truly affected me was a book by John Irving called A Prayer for Owen Meany. I found it to be spiritual and amazing and intense, and it was one of the first books I ever read that wasn't assigned to me. And it made me want to read all of John Irving's books, which I then did.
I knew it was going to be something
That's a good answer.
Good.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking of all
Deep.
smart answers. I want to
It's
say.
too late. It's too
Have
late.
I ever read a deep book? I've read a lot of biographies.
I love biographies.
But you remember how when we were kids, like you would tease someone for being a bookworm, and now I feel like people reading books are like geniuses. That anyone who has the attention span now, a kid reading a book, it's like, oh my God, thank God you're incredible. And back then it was like, bookworm.
Yeah. I don't know why I don't read more, because seriously, my mom and grandmother both read, like, were at the library constantly, and both could read a book every 2 to 3 days, finish it.
Mm-hmm.
I know why, Fortune.
Why?
Best Fiends. The phone game that you ruined my life with.
I know. Sorry, bud.
We got to get off it and we got to get back into reading.
I gotta read more. This is Jon Hamm. Thank you for reminding us books are important.
Thank you, Jon Hamm. Thank you, Jon Hamm.
Reading is good. It is good for our brains too, especially as we get older. We need to keep reading.
I am reading since I finished filming. I am reading a book for the first time in like a year. I'm reading Lullabies for Little Criminals. It's a Canadian book. It's a kind of story, coming of age story of this girl's life on Skid Row. It's really good.
Wow.
Would recommend.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, we did it again, friends.
We did it again. We pulled it off.
Wow, you guys.
And you did keep your spirits up, May.
You did.
I don't know if I dazzled everyone, but I definitely...
Give them the old razzle dazzle.
That was good.
I will just remind people one more time, if you're looking for something fun to watch, please watch my new Netflix special streaming now called Crushing It.
Yeah, and watch it right now that it's come out, because soon it won't hold up.
Hey, watch it now and it could be one of the things that impacts you greatly as a young...
Right.
But it could be a special that people are using as an example of what doesn't hold up. So watch it now.
You should watch it, because I was inspired by the book Tuck Everlasting in order to make this special, and see the handsome shout outs, and let us know if you caught those, and if you want to post them and tag us, I wouldn't mind that.
Have some viewing parties and tag
Put
us.
on a pink suit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, everybody wear a pink suit.
Wear a pink suit, tag us in your pink suit, and watch Fortune's incredible special. I saw it live before she taped, and it was she crushed it. She's not lying about in that title. She crushed it.
Bunny.
Yeah.
Do you know where else people can have viewing parties?
Where?
In your pants?
We have a very exciting announcement because the holidays are upon us.
Oh boy.
Maybe you want to tell them what they can expect for their holiday pleasure?
Well, on December 21st, we are doing a holiday spectacular at Dynasty Typewriter, and we're going to live stream it. It's like, what a perfect excuse to get together with your pals, dress up like Santa Claus, put your keys in a bowl, and watch our holiday special live streamed from anywhere in the world, December 21st.
And then other really good news is that we have new merch at handsomepod.com, including, get this, comfy sweatpants.
You asked for them. You got them.
Anything you guys would like to plug?
I want to plug my ongoing shows in Toronto at Comedy Bar. These audiences have been incredible. And I'm working through this material, having a great time while I film Star Trek.
Yeah.
And check out my Instagram. I post about shows, but also I'm at Largo December 4th. So
December 4th.
Are you there with Stephanie Allen?
Yes, I'm there with Stephanie Allen, and then I think I'm gonna do some random shows with Brett Goldstein soon as well. So keep an eye out.
Nice. Review, rate, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to YouTube, and share your favorite episodes with friends so we can continue to build our community. And until next time, keep it handsome.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Like to check out online reviews before buying that new tech gadget you saw advertised on social media.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. This content is intended for audiences in the U.S. only. Savings vary, terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.